Hi, I'm Stuart. Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. Thanks for viewing my video. This video I give my reading wrap up for the week ending 3/14/2026. I didn't complete any books this week. I read parts of 3 books, so I talk briefly about those 3 books. I talk about my reading plans for the upcoming week. I talk about the videos I released. I talk about the crochet project I worked on. I talk about the video game I played, and I talk about the music I listened to, and I talk about some other things going on in my life too. I continue to read the Complete Tales of H.P. Lovecraft. I finished At the Mountains of Madness. I completed At the Mountains of Madness. And I read all of the Shadow over Innsmouth. And I started The Dreams in the Witch House. I am really liking the stories at this point in the book. Not too much more to go, less than a couple hundred pages, so there's not going to be too many more stories. As much as I like them, I doubt I'll be reading them any of them for a 5th time. It's just that there's just so many other books to read, but I am glad I'm reading them, many of them for the 4th time. I continue to read Raining Men and Corpses, Raina Some Mystery No. 1 by Ann R. Tan. I am liking it, taking into account the fact that I talked previously in my last video that it could maybe use a little more editing, but I am liking it overall. I started to read Instructions for Dancing by Nicole Yoon. As I said in the previous video I released, I'm partially taking part in the Irish Readathon, a readathon I learned about after watching a video by Nicole's Bookish Nook. This is one of the 2 books I decided to read for it. Not too far into it, but I am enjoying it so far. As far as my reading plans for the upcoming week, they are to continue to read the 3 books that I mentioned in this video: The Complete Tales of H.P. Lovecraft, Raining Men and Corpses, Raina Some Mystery No. 1, and Instructions for Dancing. Those will be my priorities. I released 3 videos this week. They were reading wrap-up for the week ending 3/7/2026, the Mystery Madness Journey tag, and my Irish Readathon TBR and reading vlog. As far as the crochet projects I'm working on, I completed the Melt the Ice hats. I did make some changes from the pattern. It was rather testing to do it, but I think it came out pretty well. I'll just put it on. It could maybe be a bit tighter, but it fits all right. Not sure how much opportunity I'm going to get to wear it this year. It's getting warmer, although I might get a chance. It's still kind of cool here. We had some, I'll talk a little later about the weather, but we did have 3 or so quite warm days here. After this, the next project I'm going to work on is a wooble. It's been a while since I did a wooble because I did the puff stitch scarf, which took a long time, and I did this, which took this Melt the Ice hat, which took a long time too. So I kind of got a hankering to do another wooble. It will be the 3rd one in the Advent calendar, but I haven't looked at what that is yet. But that'll be the next one I do. So next video, next wrap-up I do, I should be well along it, possibly done. I continue, as far as video games, I continue to play Wylde Flowers. I'm really liking it. Actually, I'm thinking that I need to maybe put a cap on the time I spend each day playing this video game, because it's surprising to me that I kind of had a love-hate relationship with video games, but this is the 3rd in a row that I'm really kind of addicted to, which has its positives and negatives, but I kind of discovered my niche, kind of cozy games like this one. But I can easily play 2 or 3 hours of it, and I maybe should cut it back to 1. But it is good that I'm very much enjoying it. As far as the music I listen to Ashnikko, BLACKPINK, Katseye and My Chemical Romance. 3 people groups I hadn't been listened to as much recently, but I want to get back to doing so. Other than that, I went out to eat a few times. I went to the mall and walked once. There were a couple days when the weather was in the 70s F. I will put the metric equivalent in a note in the bottom of the video. But it was in the 70s for a couple days and it was the 60s another day. Now it's gone back down to the 30s and 40s, but it was really spring-like for a few days. Kind of happy to see it because this winter has been, for recent years, kind of tough here. Not historically, but recent years, it's tougher than those recent years. I had purchased a ticket to a virtual event that took place on Sunday, March 8th. The event was Barnes & Noble and Waterstones virtually present event featuring Rachel Reed in discussion with Talia Hibbert to discuss the books in the Game Changer series. As if you've been watching my recent videos, you know I recently read Game Changers by Rachel Reed and really liked it. I did read a book by Talia Hibbert not too long ago, Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, which I really liked. There was no signed copy of a book or books that came with this event, which I kind of would have liked. Normally they do have them. The ticket wasn't much though, it was like 13 something I think. The event took place before a live audience in England, I believe in London, and it was live streamed. It was a discussion about not only the Game Changer books, but the Heated Rivalry adaptation, some thoughts about what's coming up, both in future books and in the TV series. It was 2 40-minute halves with about a 20-minute intermission between them. Normally the Barnes & Noble virtual events are an hour. The second part was taken up mainly by questions from the audience, both at the event and those who had submitted questions online when they purchased their tickets. Quite interesting discussion, and as I've said before, I'm definitely going to read more of the series, and hopefully I'll get a chance to watch the TV series too. Next, I want to give a medical update, and as I always do in these, because I know not everyone wants to see medical updates, I will put a little text in the lower left-hand corner saying medical update, so you can skip by it if you like not to watch it. But I'm done with everything else I want to say except for the outro, so if you don't want to see the medical update, you've seen everything else I'm going to talk about. The week before last week, I got a blood test. I needed to get one for an appointment with my cardiologist. I did look at the results and they were quite good. The LDL was 34. My doctor just wants it below 50. Was happy with the other results were good too. It was a lipid panel, but the main one is the LDL that he focuses on. This past Monday, I went to see my cardiologist, and he was very happy with the LDL. He said that's about as low as he could hope for. He's got my risk of heart disease down as low as possible. Of course, there is a risk because the reason I saw him was because I had a calcium scoring test, and above 400 is concerning, and mine was 1339, so pretty high, but at the time I frankly didn't think I'd be alive that much longer, but turns out that it's really something a few years in the future that they're trying to prevent now. Now that they got the warning, they can do it. He had me go on a Mediterranean diet, and now I take a cholesterol pill, and every 2 weeks I inject an injectable, which I think it's a really strong one because it's going really well. my doctor, he listened to my heart and it sounded okay. They gave me an EKG too and didn't show any problems, so it was a good checkup. Just continue what I'm doing, try to stay active. The good thing about the results is that I do eat things that aren't necessarily under the Mediterranean plan. I do try to exercise portion control. And I didn't do what some people do leading up to a blood test, is they just try to eat clean for about a week. I just ate normal. So it did show that I can continue to have my treats when I want them. So that was good. So I was really happy with the results of the blood test and the appointment. There's always risk, of course, not getting any younger, but as my doctor said, things are going about as well as he could hope for. So I was happy for that. I would be interested in knowing how your reading week went, what books you're reading. If you'd like to let me know, please add a comment. I also would like to be interested in knowing what music you're listening to. If you'd like to let me know, please add a comment. Or if you're playing a video game and you'd like to recommend it too, please add that in the comment. If you can't think of anything else you'd like to comment, please add an emoji, perhaps a medical emoji for my recent doctor's appointment, or an emoji of your choice. I hope you have a wonderful reading week. I hope you have a wonderful week in general. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, please hit the bell to get notified when I upload future videos.